Okay, so the time has come where Premiere Pro has done another big update and brought with it a few new features which I think will actually really help improve our workflow and just make Premiere Pro easier to use. In this video we'll be covering the quicker warp stabilization, which is going to be a game changer for us Premiere Pro users, and I'll tell you why later. We'll be covering the new captioning system, and we'll also be covering the media replacement tool for motion graphics, which is actually a really easy way to change out photos and videos from motion graphics templates, for example lower thirds, titles and transitions. So remember, when you're updating your Premiere Pro, go into Creative Cloud and update it, but always tick the box to leave the old version there if you're in the middle of a project, because when you're updating to a new version it can sometimes mess up your project file. So let's get into the warp stabilization, and they said in the changelog they made this quicker. I did think it was going to be a few seconds, but when I actually did some tests it honestly blew my mind how much quicker it was. So this first test here is with the Fuji X-T4 10-bit 422 4K in H.265, so notoriously difficult to edit. So I applied the warp stabilization to this clip, and originally it took 3 minutes and 51 seconds on the older version of Premiere Pro. A fair amount for a short clip, but it's H.265, 4K 10-bit 422 and all that, so notoriously difficult to edit. But on the new Premiere Pro it took 1 minute and 10 seconds, which is almost 4 times faster. I think this is insane, and productivity wise it is definitely a game changer. Again, I didn't really believe it at first, so I tried again with a 20-second clip, again 10-bit 422 4K in H.265, and the older version of Premiere Pro did it in 8 minutes and 4 seconds. In the 2021 version we managed to get it done in 2 minutes and 26 seconds. That's huge. The reason I say this is huge is because there's just been so many times where I start to stabilize a bit of footage on the timeline, and then I just go away to YouTube or just get distracted on the internet while I'm waiting for it to stabilize, and it's 20-30 minutes later before I'm coming back to it. But with this, you just chuck the stabilization on, it's like 1 or 2 minutes and you're done. So it really won't interrupt your workflow as much as Warp Stabilizer normally does in Premiere Pro. Next is the brand new media replacement tool within motion graphics, which you might have seen before in some of the beta versions, but it's now made its way to the full version of Premiere Pro. So you might have used these motion graphics before, but they're essentially text, titles and animations that are often pre-made in After Effects and exported as motion graphics templates. Then when you import them into Premiere Pro, you can use these animations but change the text, change the font, change the colors, and sometimes animation speeds. The problem is if you put a picture or a video into this motion graphic in After Effects, once you import it into Premiere Pro, it's already baked in and you can't change it. This means that if you do sort of lower thirds with logos, then you can't actually change the logo to one that you want until now. So the first example is this really quick lower third that I've whipped up, and as you can see it's got a logo on it, as well as some text and colours that we can also go in and change as well. So I've already exported this as a motion graphics template, so if we go over into Premiere Pro now, you can see I've put it on a timeline, and when it plays in full it's a nice smooth lower third. I've made a copy of it that we can now edit, and if we click on it and go into the Essential Graphics tab. If you don't have this, then you click Window and make sure Essential Graphics is ticked there. You can see that under Logo we have like a changeable picture here, and it shows what picture we've already got, which is this logo. And then you can either click the little sandwich and click Replace from Explorer and then find your photo, or you can just import your photo straight in and drag it from the project documents there. And you can see it's automatically scaled it to fill that box, but if you did want to make it smaller, you can use these scale tools here to make it smaller and bigger, and obviously move it around as well, so let's make some really small adjustments to it. And if we wanted to, we could then go in and change the color of this box like that. And then I've also set this one so that we can change the color of the other boxes. So let's go and change this one to the red of the Xeon, and then let's change the text to employee of Xeon, and then there you see that we've actually changed this whole lower third from something that's like this to something that looks like this. So we've changed the colors, we've changed that logo, and of course you can then change that logo to anything you want, and scale and size it so that it fits in this little box. So that's a cool new feature. It just opens up so many more opportunities for these sort of motion graphics templates. So another example, this time with video, and we're going for this full screen title here, which is a video playing in a box, and then we've got some title text popping in. This one's very simple. I haven't allowed editing the colors or anything yet, just because I've whipped this up really quickly just to show you guys. So if we go into Premiere Pro then, and you can see just sort of how it works. This is a quarter resolution because it's quite a tough one to play back. So I'm just going to make a copy of that, and again go into the Essential Graphics timeline, and you can change the text, the subtitle, and you have this video here that you can change as well. So I've already put a video in here, so I'm just going to drag that over like that, and you see it's done it from the first frame of the video. But if I wanted it to start a bit later, you can actually drag this and get it to start a little bit later in the video. So that's your sort of start point. And then you can use these buttons here for position. So I'm going to position that right in the middle, and then you can see that there's a video playing. It's different now there. And then if we could change the title to and now instantly we have a different video playing, different titles, and again really helpful if you just wanted a title with a video in it, or perhaps there's, you know, comparison motion graphics. Again, I don't want to oversimplify this because there are so many possibilities for this, but I think I might make it into a separate video just because there's so much you can do and so many ways you can use these media replacement tools. Again, that's going to really speed up a lot of people's workflows. If we can have motion graphics templates which are just lower thirds that you can just whack a logo on and change the color, this is going to really speed up a lot of workflows. So the final thing I wanted to show you is the new way of doing captions, and captions actually used to be a little bit more difficult on the older versions, but they've simplified it quite a lot and made it a lot more accessible. So what we have to do is go over to Window and make sure text is ticked, and then this text window will appear here. So what we have to do is create a new caption track, and then make sure subtitle is selected, and then you can add styles as well, but we'll talk about that in a bit. So when we press OK, it adds a new layer here for subtitle. So if you go to a plus button here, it adds a new caption automatically, and if I just play and find out what's said and type in our subtitle, and then if we click that and go into the Essential Graphics tab again, we can actually edit all of the properties. So we can change the font, for example, and then we can also change the zone that it's in. Obviously I prefer to have it down the bottom like that. We can change the background, so if we just make it a slightly darker background to improve that accessibility. Then we can also make the background slightly larger if we want to as well. I'm going to remove that shadow and make the background a little bit darker on the opacity side. So let's just say I'm happy with that for now, and then we can go in and play that again, and it looks quite good. And then if we do click this, we can then split that segment, and it splits it into two different segments. Then we can expand that and add our second subtitle. So, and this is a complete guide to the DJI Pocket 2. And again, you can go into the Essential Graphics tab and edit this. So if you just wanted this one line to be, I don't know, bold or black, for example, you can change that and it would just edit that one line. So again, you can have styles, but you can also edit them individually as well. Okay, so let's say I want to make a template for future captions in terms of, you know, how big the text is, the background, the fonts. So you don't have to change it every time you go in. You can actually, if I just change this back to, let's say, medium, that's about right. You can actually then go into track style and create a style around that that font, that color, and that background. Let's just call it generic caption. Can't spell. And next time we go to create new caption track, we can actually select our generic caption style, and then as soon as we add something, it'll be in the style that we selected before. So again, you don't have to go in and change the font and color every single time. So that's just a few of the things that have changed in the latest version of Premiere Pro. There's obviously some other stuff that I haven't covered, so check out their website and the changelog for that. I'm definitely going to be doing another video on the media replacement tool for motion graphics and how to make those, so keep an eye out for that. If you like videos like these, then hit the subscribe button down below to see more. If you found this video informative in any way, then hit that thumbs up button. And if you've got any questions or comments, then leave them in the comment section and I'll be sure to get back to you. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.